Yo, what's good YouTube? In today's video, we're going over more top 5 meta loadouts you guys need to be using. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like for the algorithm, subscribe with notifications turned on, and let's get into it. All right, for our first gun here today, we're going to be getting into the SVA 545. This is such a great assault rifle I think you guys need to be using. It's got great bullet velocity, damage range. You can run it in full auto or in burst. Overall, fantastic. So first thing in muzzle, we're going to go through on the VT7 Spearfire suppressor, keeping us off the radar, helping with our overall recoil control, bullet velocity, and range. Fantastic attachment to have. Barrel section, we go through on the STV precision barrel because, well, I should actually clarify, we're running this in the fully automatic form, but you guys can definitely go ahead and run this in the burst fire form as well. So if you wanted to run it exclusively in the burst fire form, there is a bit of a different setup for it. That'll kind of more maximize your overall bullet velocity, but the STV precision barrel is basically what you should be running kind of regardless. Underbarrel section, throw on that Brune Heavy support grip. This is just really good. The SVA doesn't have a ton of recoil, so you guys can use the Brune Heavy and pretty much stabilize yourself out here pretty nicely. So I really enjoy running that. Magazine, we're gonna go through on the 60 round mag here. This is gonna be my go-to. I always say you should run the 60 on this gun. No reason for you to run the 45. It doesn't make sense. Always go for the 60. And lastly, in the optic section, you go through on the Jack glassless, which is going to be your ideal optic to run here on this gun. So this can be my full build for the SVA 545. Next up, I'm going to give you guys a nice stable build here for the Striker, which can almost be used as a bit of sniper support because the effective damage range is so good. So first thing in the muzzle, we're going to go throw on the ZM35. Though if you guys want to, you can still throw on the Shadow Strike suppressor and keep yourselves off the radar at no penalty to you. So you're gonna have a little bit more recoil, but overall the ZM35 will basically make this thing 0 recoil. So I really enjoy running the ZM whenever I build out a Striker. Barrel section, when you go throw on the Striker Recon long barrel, there's a difference between the Elite Long and the Striker Recon Long. So you get an 18, 18, and 15% increase here, as opposed to a 13, 12, and 15% increase. So we really enjoy our effective damage range. We don't need extra recoil control. It'll slow us down. The other barrel will make you slower. We do not need that. It's got no recoil anyways. Underbarrel section, we go through on the DR6 hand stop. This is going to keep you very ultra stable, but also give you extra mobility. The XRK Edge can be very useful if you guys really want to strafe around a little bit more, but overall the DR6 I believe is going to be the way to go. Ammunition, to go through on the .45 auto high grain rounds. This is going to be really solid because your effective damage range is 17.3 meters and your bullet velocity is 714 meters per second, meaning that your effective damage range and your bullet velocity is higher and faster than every other SMG in the game right now. So you guys should definitely go ahead and run this. You're going to be just absolutely demolishing people. Magazine, we go throw on for the last attachment, the 48 round mag. I do not believe you need the 60. That just does not make sense. Go for the 48 and pretty much call it a day. So this can be my full build here for the Striker. Next up, I want to give you guys a bit of a different build than my previous one here for the FJX Horus. This one is going to be a little bit more balanced than rather having more mobility. So first thing in the muzzle category, we're still going to go through on that Sin 9 long barrel just because I do believe you still need the extra bit of damage range. I don't think the Martis Heavy is a bad barrel, but you only have 10.2 meters, which does feel a little bit on the low end. So if you want to stop getting outgunned at close range, the Sin 9 is definitely going to help you with that. Even though it's only basically under 2 meters, it still makes a big difference. Muzzle, we're going to go through on that ZM35 here. I mean, I think you guys should always just run this. It just makes sense. This gun definitely benefits from it quite substantially, just given the fact that it has a decent bit of visual recoil. You will feel that bounce. Even with this build, you're still going to feel some of that bounce, so you definitely want to be able to control it, and this will help you with that. Now we're going down here to the magazine, throw on the 60 round mag. Like I've said, pretty much anytime I ever make a video here or to talk about the FJX, is that between the 48 and the 60, if you guys, hit your left trigger and bring up, your detailed statistics, you'll see that going between the two, there is no difference between the 60 and the 48 on your penalties. So I'd always recommend to go for the 60 because it's not like it's making you slower. You're just getting extra rounds in the magazine. So always go for the 60. Magazine section, or not magazine section, optic section, we're going to go throw with the Jack glasses on here. This is just going to help us feel a little bit more stable. It's not going to be as mobile since we're missing an underbarrel attachment, but it is going to be very nice to be able to see and not have to use those iron sights, as I'm not the biggest fan of those myself. And lastly, in the stock section, we're going to go throw on the Ripper light stock, which can give you more mobility without totally chalking your overall ability to control the recoil on this gun, because it will be a little bit much and that no stock is something I myself, being a very experienced Warzone player, don't really enjoy running anymore, just because it's a little bit too bouncy, and I find that I'm starting to miss shots just because the overall bounce of the weapon. So the Ripper Light is gonna be the way to go, and here's my full build. Next up, I'm gonna give you guys a build here for the STB556, and I think this gun is criminally underrated. Not that many people use it. It doesn't make sense because we can build out a wicked build for this thing. So first thing, we're actually gonna throw in the Bruin Tarraco 686mm barrel. So if you guys want to, you can go through on the 20 Bruin, and that's gonna be like the other barrel I've shown, or I've actually made a video on here that actually worked out very, very nicely. But you can see you get a nice almost 40 meters in effective damage range, which is even better than the SVA, which I showed you guys. And your bullet velocity is already really good. So this barrel right here puts you in competitive range without having to have anything else on there. But overall, the Bruin Tarraco gets you only about your effective damage range to 35, but your bullet velocity increase is 33%, making you almost at 960 meters per second. It's going to feel very, very hit scan, and we're also going to make it just hit even harder and faster. Now going down to the underbarrel section, because this is an integrated silencer, we don't have to have one. We're gonna go throw on that Bruin Heavy just to stabilize this thing out. It's definitely gonna kick a little bit, considering it's gonna be a very hard hitter, but I mean, your shots are gonna be hitting way before anyone else is even reach you. Your bullet velocity is gonna be so fast. Speaking of your bullet velocity, we're gonna go down here and throw on the 5.56 NATO high grain rounds, which it just does something absolutely ridiculous. Boosts you out to 40.5 meters, and your bullet velocity is 1100 meters per second. So absolutely nuts, and this is really solid right here. It's faster than a large majority of the ARs in the game, so I think you guys should definitely try this out for yourselves. Magazine, we're gonna go throw on the 42 round mag. I don't think you guys should run anything else besides the 42. I mean, literally, there's like the single tap mod, which is, you know, stupid, and there's the base, which is 30. So you have to go for the 42. And then lastly, in the optic section, you go throw on the Jack Glassless, which is going to be my optic of choice here, pretty much on every long range and sometimes even close range gun. So this is my full build here for the STB. Last but definitely not least, I want to give you guys a build here for the Pulemyot 762. This is a top meta LMG that I don't think gets enough love, but it's actually pretty solid. So we're going down here. First thing is going to be that conversion kit. You guys have to run this. This is what makes this thing actually good. You don't want to run the base version or try to build this out with the base version. You will always want to go for the bullpup kit. This is what makes this gun feel very reliable and just overall mobile. It still makes it a very hard hitter. So we're gonna go throw that on there for our first attachment. After that, we're gonna go into the muzzle category. We're gonna go throw on the VT7 Spiritfire suppressor, kind of keeping us off the radar, helping our overall bullet velocity, damage range, all that sort of fun stuff. So I believe this is really solid right here. 705 is not the absolute greatest, or 709.5 is not the absolute greatest, but that and your effective damage range, when you combine that with having a 100 round mag, it's actually going to hit pretty hard. Actually, a barrel section, what we're going to go do is throw on the Jack Annihilator long barrel for that increase in bullet velocity and range, which is a nice 34, 34, and 18% increase, meaning that now we have basically at the top end of our assault rifles in range here. So, and the bullet velocity is perfectly fine at 836. This is definitely what you guys want to be running. Now in the optics section, we're gonna go throw on the Jack Glassless, which is a nice little difference. We were running basically the Choreo Eagle Eye 2.5x back when this was super hard meta. So I think you guys should just go throw on the Jack Glassless and really enjoy the overall stability of this gun. And lastly, in the stock section, we go throw on the Command D15 recoil reduction pad, which is gonna stabilize you out quite a bit at 21, 5, and 5% as your respective increases to your recoil control benefits. So that is a really solid attachment, and this is my full build here for the Pulemyot 762. That has been my top 5. You guys enjoyed it? Give it a like, subscribe with notifications turned on. Check out this other video on screen, and I'll see you all next time.